Okay, another day, another story. Okay, this one falls under my gift of discernment, my gift of discerning spirits. And this story, it creeps me out. It creeps me out because of the nature of what happened. But hey, I've never asked any of you to do this, but before I tell you the story, please like the post and also follow me. Follow me for more of these stories. Okay, getting right into it. When my children were much younger, we needed carpeting for their bedrooms. And we bought the carpeting, but we needed a carpet installer. And my husband was recommended this guy who was a preacher who had laid carpeting on the side. And he came to our house and he introduced himself, and my husband and I were there, and the kids were really young. Like I said, they were like under 6 years old, all three of them. And my husband was leaving for work. And I said, I don't know, just something hit me. And I was like, honey, I don't want you to really go to work. I don't feel comfortable being here with this guy alone. And my husband was like, what are you talking about? He's a preacher. And I said, I don't care what he is. Something about him has given me the EBGBs. And we were younger, married and all that. And my gift of discernment and my empathic abilities hadn't really proven themselves to my husband yet. So he was doubtful, and he was like, oh, you're just being silly. He went on to work. And that day I was with the children and nothing happened. I stayed away from the guy. I kept the kids in the playroom, me and the kids in the playroom, and we just kind of left them alone. I went in and checked on him and his coworker every once in a while, asked them if they wanted a lemonade or something, and that was it. But he had to come back the next day. So I told my husband that night, I said, I really do not feel comfortable with this guy at our house. And I really, I think I'm going to take the kids somewhere. And he was like, I think you're being really ridiculous. This guy is a pastor of a church, and I really think you're being ridiculous. But I just felt it so strong not to trust this guy. I felt very creeped out by this guy. Anyway, so the second day came, and I took the kids out for most of the day, and we played at a park or something. I don't really remember. And when the guy was done with the carpeting, we wrote him a check and he went on his way. And my husband looked at me and was like, see, I told you, there was nothing. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why you thought something was wrong, but obviously nothing was wrong with this guy. But I still felt it. And I said, I don't know, I'm just telling you, honey, I didn't trust him, something was wrong. Fast forward many weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, we got a knock on the door. And this lady was at the door, and she was standing there looking very disheveled, much like I look right now, actually. But she was looking very disheveled. And she had 3 or 4 kids with her at the time, and they looked like little ragamuffins. They were dirty and skinny and scrawny, and their clothes were falling off of them. And this lady said hi, and she said, are you the Prices? And we said, yes. And she goes, I don't know where else to go, but I saw your check in my husband's belongings. And she said, he has everybody at the church believing he's good. And I saw your address, and God told me to find you, and you would believe me. And she stood there with her little ragamuffin kids, and she said that her and the children had been abused. And he had his little church believing that they were, that she was crazy. But I could tell by the look of these children, she was not the crazy one. And he was controlling, and he kept them locked up, and he barely fed them, and all this other horrible stuff. And she remembered our address and phone, address, whatever, how to find us. And she escaped. And she escaped to our house. Somebody completely far removed from the situation, and somebody she believed God told her would believe her. Wow. Well, we got her help. We took her to a place for her and her children and abused women and children, and they sought help and they escaped. They escaped from him. And I think it was at that point my husband started believing in my gift. In fact, he's believed in it ever since. That was very dramatic, a very dramatic, eye-opening experience. So, I have a lot of them, though. I have a lot of them. When I'm being told something, when I get hit really hard, it's not like I can meet somebody and know, like, people go, okay, tell me what's on my mind. No, it's nothing like that. I don't have that kind of ability. But when I'm hit with a feeling, I tell you what, good, bad, or indifferent, I trust that feeling. I trust that feeling. So, anyway, stick with me for more stories. Bye.